Hey guys, DMV SoloRider back with another video. I'm actually riding a little south of Aquia Harbor. And no, this is not the same day that I filmed my ride through Triangle. But I know that there's a nice little stretch down here where you ride from Virginia, you cross the Potomac River into Maryland, kind of on your way up to La Plata. So I'm doing that. But recently on the channel, someone had asked me if I would kind of go over how I rig up my Icon Airflight for motovlogging. And I've had questions about my setup from time to time. And I figured, given that I've had trouble getting out filming and riding, I might as well get it in while I can. I honestly don't think I've seen a lot of motovloggers using the Icon Airflight, which, as you know, is my favorite helmet, just because it looks badass, not because it's quiet or comfortable or anything like that. I mean, it's okay. You know, I know other motovloggers have shown you what their setup is, and they'll basically go through the process step by step of how to outfit your helmet for motovlogging. I don't actually have any spare supplies right now, so I'm just gonna kind of discuss what I did, why I did it, kind of the decisions that go into it. I will put a link in the description section below, kind of covering those things that I purchased to use for my setup. If you enjoy my version of this video, I'd certainly appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. I put my ride and ride-related content out every Tuesday. Hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell. You'll get an alert when my new content is out, and I'd certainly appreciate it. So where to start? I mean, I guess my assumption is a lot of people don't use the Icon Airflight for motovlogging because, you know, this visor, this amazing visor that gives you such an amazing field of view, comes all the way down to the chin. That's where you open it. And they don't want to stick a mount on the visor itself. And that kind of leads me into my first recommendation before you even get into how to put stuff on your helmet is, you know, if you want to do it and you want it to look good and you want to have a good experience, don't hesitate to invest a little bit of money. I mean, it's YouTube, it's free content, you're not getting paid, I'm certainly not getting paid, so appreciate keeping everything in a budget, but you have to be willing to invest at least a little bit of money to do things the right way. There's one other motovlogger I've seen who uses an Icon Airflight, and this person has mentioned, oh, I don't want to stick a camera mount on the visor because if I'm not filming and I just want to ride, I don't want the mount there. It kind of ruins the aesthetic, which I get. But a replacement visor or an extra visor costs like 25 bucks. So if you're in that situation and you're thinking, well, you know, I don't want to put a mount on the chin of my visor, I'm going to stick it on the side of my helmet, or I'm going to have the camera just on my handlebars. I mean, you do you, but if a spare visor only costs an extra 25 bucks, do yourself a favor, buy a second one, and use the spare for motovlogging, and when you're not motovlogging, switch out your visor. It's only 25 bucks. You'll have a better experience, I promise. And from my perspective, you know, this is a motovlog. People are watching you ride a motorcycle. Why would you want them to see anything other than that amazing first-person view, other than my pretty mug in the corner of the screen? So you want your camera on your chin. It's far and away the best view. And from my perspective, when you have cameras on the side of your helmet, the view is always a little off. It's not great. This other motovlogger I'm talking about, this person has all kind of weird camera angles. The camera's always shaking around. It's really disturbing, and I wish this person would just put their camera on their chin because they have good content, except for the view. So, you know, give that some thought. Don't hesitate to buy a spare visor so you can have the best view for your video. And before we get into the mounting, one other comment I would make is on the GoPro. When I started this, I was like coming in hot. I wanted brand new GoPros. I wanted the best I could get. And the new GoPro at the time was the Hero 8. Don't buy a Hero 8. These camera lenses can't be removed, and both of mine are cracked. They're hairline cracks. I don't think it's making any difference in the quality of my video, but it would be nice to replace them just in case. And you can't on the 8. I think you can on the 9 and the 10 and on older cameras. So food for thought, if you haven't bought a GoPro yet and you're thinking of getting one, avoid the 8. As for, you know, when you're mounting on the Airflight's visor, you can use all different kinds of mounts. there are companies who make mounts specifically for this helmet, because at the bottom part of the chin there's a divot, you know, so you can grab the visor and flip it up, and that's where you can stick your GoPro mount. Here's a picture of the mount that I purchased for my helmet. I'm sure there are other companies making similar products. You know, you get it, it comes with the 3M tape on the back. You just stick it on and it fits perfectly. Similarly, if you don't want to buy a special mount, you just want to use one of the GoPro mounts that comes with your camera, that's not a problem. This is like the second visor I've used with a GoPro mount on my air flight. The first visor I had, I scratched it kind of right across my vision, so I got a new visor. And I had to take the original mount that I had bought off that visor and put it on this one. And of course, you know, you can't reuse the 3M tape like that. What I did is I bought some Sugru moldable glue. Again, I'll link down to that in the description section. And I used like 3 packets of the glue, molded it together, put it on the back of the mount, stuck it on the visor, carefully trimmed the excess Sugru that kind of squirts out on the sides, and it works fine. That's how my mount is on my visor right now. I will say that Sugru can be a little messy. It leaves like a black coloring on your hands for sure, but if you get too much extra on the visor, you can have some areas with some kind of black coloring left over. I don't think you can see that through the GoPro in super view. Now, sure, you can do the same exact thing and just, you know, put the mount on the side of your helmet and have one of those arms that comes around to the front of your visor. I just prefer a nice clean look, and what you want to do is you put the mount on, and then you get what's called a J-hook mount. And I'll put a picture up on the screen. And, you know, for a taller guy, that's all you need. You put the J-hook on the mount, and then you attach the GoPro to the J-hook. Because I'm short and I needed to get a little more height on my GoPro, I have the J-hook, and then I have a little extension arm. I'll put a link down below to the, you know, the extension arm package I ordered. I think I found it on Amazon for like $5-10, whatever. But it's something you really need to play around with. You want to make sure that your camera has the right angle so you can see the road in front of you. You can see your motorcycle, see your hands on the handlebars. And personally, I like to see a good amount of motorcycle tank, because I really want people to be as immersed in the video as possible. And so it's important to, you know, be prepared to have different implements that help you get the right view for your motorcycle, for your height. So that's how I affix my GoPro to my helmet. It's pretty simple. There are a few videos out there of motovloggers kind of walking you through their setup. There are 2 in particular that I would give a big thumbs up and tell you to check out. One is Blockheads, and of course I'll link to that down below and give them a shout out in the description. And the other is a video Yami Noob shot, I want to say a year or 2 ago, where he went over not only his whole setup, but how he edits. And I think that was probably the single best video I watched when I was doing my own setup. So shout out to Poppy M, and I'll link to that video down below as well. I only discovered this by watching Blockhead's video. Never thought about it until I saw that. Keep in mind that when you use a GoPro or probably any other camera, the lens is on the side of the camera. It's not dead center. So when you put your GoPro dead center of your chin, your perspective is actually just slightly to the left, like when you're looking at your view. And when I'm editing my videos and I'm creating them, from time to time, I can catch that the camera angle is just a tad off center. Most of the time you're moving your head around, you're looking at stuff, you don't notice that. But occasionally I notice it, and only because I saw Blockhead mention it in his channel. So when you're doing your GoPro mount on your chin, if that's the sort of thing that's going to bother you like it bothers me, keep it in mind. And instead of getting one of these mounts that's shaped to fit on the Airflight's visor, just go with a regular mount and the Sugru, and just have the mount a little off center. You can shape the Sugru so it's a little extra on that side for support, and you won't have these issues when you're editing your video if you're a little OCD like yours truly. And I haven't actually fixed this one because I haven't had any reason to other than that, and I didn't want to undo it just to make that fix. But the next time I have reason to redo a mount on my Airflight, I will take that into account and fix it. The second aspect of my helmet is my audio. Now with the GoPros, as you know, you can get the media adapter. It's this little brick that you plug into the GoPro, and then you have to figure out how to attach that to your helmet as well. I never wanted to deal with that. When I first started doing this, I bought the media mod for the Hero 8. And basically it's just a case you put around your camera here, and you can plug your microphone right into the back of that, and then the video file for this camera will also have your audio file attached. And it works okay. I very quickly switched from using the media mod to a separate audio recorder. I got a Tascam digital recorder. Again, I'll put the link in the description section below. And the reason I decided pretty quickly to start using separate audio was really less about quality and more about redundancy. When I first started filming videos, I had a few situations where I had like technical difficulties. You know, on the GoPro, it has something called quick capture, where if the GoPro is turned off and you press the shutter button, it'll start recording video immediately. And occasionally when I went to go turn the camera on to record, I guess I must have hit the quick capture by accident instead of turning the GoPro on. Didn't realize it, and I started recording. It didn't record audio. It was kind of a mess. And so I started using the separate audio recorder, and what I find is if you have a technical difficulty, you can usually salvage your footage. You have audio working. You can make do. Look at that road, man. What the heck am I doing filming this? I need to just ride. Got some wet patches on the road, got to be careful. Still pretty chilly out. It's like a balmy 40 degrees today, so I'm not really worried about wet spots being frozen. So talking about the audio recorder, of course, that leads you to a discussion about your microphone. And like a lot of motovloggers, I use the Purple Panda. And, you know, overall I would say it has the best sound quality for this. I have gone through a couple of them already, and in between breaking them, I've used kind of like a generic lavalier mic, lapel mic, and the audio quality was noticeably better on the Purple Panda. Its number one best characteristic is it really picks up the exhaust note of your bike nicely. You know, for me personally, all of my videos have that, you know, first person view, and I want you to be able to be immersed in the video, in the ride. I want you to be able to hear that exhaust note. I find that the Purple Panda just does the best job compared to other products. But that leads to another issue, and this is something that I'm experiencing in particular because now I'm shooting in 4K video, and 4K really eats through batteries really fast. And historically what I've done when I film my ride videos is I just film the whole ride. And when you're filming in 1080p with the GoPros, that's not that big of a deal. You can get about an hour of recording per battery. But in 4K, you're lucky if you get 30 minutes. Hold on, let me get through some of these twisties. Haven't ridden in a week. Gotta enjoy them. Baby. As I mentioned, the GoPros have a quick capture feature. Unfortunately, if you're using an external mic, which you have to do if you're doing motovlogging, you can't use a Purple Panda or any unpowered microphone and have the quick capture pick up your audio. You have to have a powered mic, and they make them. You know, they're a lot more expensive. I haven't made the investment yet. It's probably something I'm going to have to figure out pretty soon. The point being that when you're shooting in 4K, it's not really feasible to just film a whole ride. I'd be stopping every 30 minutes. It would take forever. It would be a much more convenient way to film to just use the quick capture. In order to do that, I have to put the media mod back on this and have to get a powered microphone so that I can plug it into the media mod, and when I do quick capture, I'll have audio, instant audio. So that's something to keep in mind as well. If you're going to do long rides like I do, if you're going to shoot in 4K, which I highly recommend, you're going to have to come up with a different game plan. One thing about the Purple Panda I will point out, and this goes for a lot of microphones, in order to use the Purple Panda with your GoPro, like if you're plugging it into the media mod, you have to use an adapter that comes with the Purple Panda. It's like the TRS adapter, something like that. Basically, if you look at the end of any microphone plug, it has black lines, and you have to use the correct type of plug for whatever you're plugging into. And so for GoPros and Purple Panda microphones, you got to use an adapter that works with the GoPro. That's fine. But one caution is that adapter, it's like an extra wire that you plug into, and it's got like a fat piece on it. I'll put a picture up on the screen. I've broken 2 Purple Panda microphones by accidentally stepping on that fat part. It's very sensitive. And you know, when you're getting all geared up, if your microphone cord is dangling and it ends up on the ground and you step on it, your microphone's done. The first time this happened to me was on my Florida road trip when I was riding down to Key West. It was the day that I was riding down the long bridge, like the 7-mile bridge. And my audio got screwed up right at the end. It was terrible. So keep that in mind. The last thing to really discuss when you're talking about using the AirFlight for motovlogging, because it's a noisy helmet in particular, is where you actually place the microphone. A lot of motovloggers just kind of stick the microphone in their cheek pad, put a little fuzzy on top to cut down on some of the wind noise. I find that I don't really like the way that sounds. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't really done it a lot in this helmet. On my Shoei, my other helmet, it gives it a horrible muffled sound. It really doesn't sound that good. It sounds like you're talking in a fishbowl. What I find with this helmet is what you really want to do, at least for me, is I have the microphone pointed straight up. I have it beneath my mouth. And the way that I keep it there is, you know, when you buy a Purple Panda, it comes with a little clip that you could actually hold the microphone to a lapel with. It's metal. And what I did is I just took a little bit of Sugru, I stuck it on the inside of my helmet, and I put that clip in it. And now when I want to record, I just put the microphone in the clip and it holds it upright. I'm going to film some footage that I'm going to chime in here with to show you what it looks like on the inside. I think one of the benefits of this setup is the microphone isn't actually touching the inside shell of the helmet. And when you have your microphone touching the vibrating outer shell of your helmet, that's only going to make it even harder. You can get a lot of pops and crackles in your audio, which is terrible. And when you have a microphone popping and cracking, that's the kind of thing you really can't edit that out. You can minimize it a bit, but you can't get rid of it entirely. It's really frustrating. And I find using this clip and holding my microphone kind of away from the inside of the shell underneath my mouth cuts down on all that kind of interference. Sure, I still have wind noise, but I can deal with that. That might actually be the most important thing I have to offer for a motovlogging setup on really my AirFlight or any other helmet, because I do the same thing on my Shoei. But anyways, that's what I do when I'm using my AirFlight for motovlogging. I hope that this is helpful to you. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, I'd certainly appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Put my ride and ride-related content out every Tuesday. Hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell. You'll get an alert every time a new video drops. And I'd certainly appreciate it. Helps more people find my videos. Until next week, which is probably going to be a ride in Nanjamoy, DMV SoloRider is out.